Bo- Born and raised in Miami, Florida, right? I was an electrical mechanic for several years, and a friend of mine kept telling me about this opportunity to help lives and make a lot of money. And for 2 years, I'm going to say 2 long years, I seen his life transformed, but I still didn't make the leap of faith to jump. He came to my mom's house at the time I was living with my mom, and he said he pulled it up in a brand new Mercedes Benz. He got my attention, but I still didn't do nothing. The week afterwards, I went to my employer's home and I was helping them install a $40,000 chandelier in the middle of Coral Gables. If you guys are not familiar with Coral Gables, it's a very luxurious estate area where LeBron James, Pat Riley, Dwayne Wade lives at. So he was neighbors with these guys. So I walked outside to take a break, and I looked around and I looked at the neighborhood, and it came to me, this guy that I'm helping put up a $40,000 chandelier. He do not pay me to live in this neighborhood. I will never be able to make the money he make or buy the homes he's living in based on the occupation I was doing. So that's when I made a decision to call my buddy up and say, look, whatever you're doing, as long as it's legal, please sign me up. Now, for a lot of people, they might say, why it took you so long? Well, this was the same gentleman that when we went out and hung out, he was the type of person that when the check came, he would walk out and act like he's on the phone and leave me with the bill. So for me to see his life change so dramatically fast, I was impressed. My very first year, I made over $136,000. Second year, I made $200,000. But then I took another leap of faith where I was able to be coached by one of we call him the godfather of insurance, and he mentored me. He said, look, Mark, you are very talented. These people are parading you around with your nice trophies. You have all the rings. You only make it $200,000. If you come work with me in 3 years, I can make you a millionaire. So guess what? I went to work with him. He mentored me. In 18 months, I was making $1 million already a year within 18 months. But then I was making $1 million, but my team wasn't. So that's when I decided to make a decision to become a broker. Then I started working with this company. I don't know if I could share names, but I went there and I made $1 million again. And my team, my agents were able to make a lot of money there too. But it seemed like every time I got to a company, and this is why I'm with Experian now, every time I got to a company, I was always too late. What do I mean by too late? I was always the rookie of the year. I was the number one agent, the number one agency owner, but I never was there for the equity plan. And by the time I got there, Integrity, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Integrity. Integrity made a nice deal to me. Matter of fact, an eight-figure deal, and said, "Hey, look, we want to buy you out." And I asked questions. If we buy you out, your team don't own their book of business anymore, and that was the deal breaker for me. See, me, it's all about relationships with me versus the capital. The capital we're gonna get, but I want to do it with everybody. I don't want to do it by myself. I'm not an I person. I'm a we person. And then that's when I got a chance to meet with Darren. Darren told me about the equity plan. He said the people that you're developing training, they can have equity too. They can have shares too. They have a bonus too. Because one of the things that I didn't understand about insurance, I didn't understand the builder's model. And you all, if this is your first go around, you are so lucky. Darren showed me the back office. He said, Mark, if you was to work here based on the effort and work you be doing, you're making $3, $4 million a year working with Xperia. So guess what? That was a no-brainer for me. We jumped ship. We came to Xperia with most of my team. We had over 2,700 agents at the time. Only 100 came with us. Only 100 came water. So, guys, I tell you this story because there's roads that you're going to travel. You're going to see certain things that others not going to see. But sometimes you will have to have enough strength and enough conviction in your dream, in your vision, to be able to not only burn the boat, but you need to burn the bridge. Now, if I could go back 12 years ago, what would coach do different? One, I would trust faster. I would believe in the system. I would believe in the people that got me in the business faster. I would make this my mission. I would make this my passion, right? Two, what else I would do? I would start building day one. So my first year, I made $136,000 on my own pen. I did not have that one agent because selfishly, I wanted to figure it out first. I wanted to be the guinea pig, but not knowing that there was a system in place in order to build other people, I didn't do it. So if I was to go back, I would start building an agency day one. I would start trusting into the mentorship and the people even faster. Now, there's some things that you will see. Your brand. Who's been here less? Who been licensed less than 6 years? Put a one in the chat. Licensed less than 6 years. If you're licensed less than 3 years, put a two. If you've been licensed less than 1 year, put a five. I'm curious to see how long have y'all been able to have the license to print money. This is a lottery ticket, what you have. And a lot of people do not understand why I became the number one agent in my former company. It's not because of money, it's because of my parents. My parents was going up in age, and I knew they was not gonna be here too long. My dad had dementia. And one of the things my dad told me that he didn't want to do is go into a nursing home. So what did I do? I worked so hard, I hired two nurses to take care of my parents, to make sure they had a good living because I had the license to print money. I was able to do whatever I want because I was blessed to have this license. And I am blessed to have the freedom. When Muhammad Kizzy called me, I didn't have to check in with nobody. I didn't have to call my boss and say, hey, look, can I take the day off and go spend some time with some great people in West Palm Beach? I didn't have to do that. Well, oh yeah, you know what? I did have to do that. You know what I did? I said, hey, Mark, coach, can I go take the day off and go to West Palm Beach? Oh, yep, you sure can. Yes, you can. You should go do that. So that's what I did. I didn't have a boss to answer to because I was my own boss. I'm a huge Dolphin fan, guys. Huge Miami Dolphin fan. I remember I took my family to the Dolphin Stadium. This is recently. And the sun was scorching hot. I took the cheapest tickets in the stadium. My wife told me she'd never come back to the stadium because it's so hot. I told myself because I have a license to print money now, I could get the club seats. And guess what? I got the club seats, and we went to the game. I was able to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers games in cold, snowy Pittsburgh, and I'm from Miami, Florida, and spend some time with some other leaders that work for Xperia. So a lot of us may not see the golden ticket. We might not understand it, but guess what? You want to start digging your well before you get thirsty because you never know what's going to come up in the future. And a lot of things I've seen with this industry is a lot of us, the retention. That's the biggest threat in our industry. A lot of people get licensed. A lot of people come on these calls, and guess what? They don't do much. I would encourage you guys to dig your well before you get thirsty. Get going. Stop trying to figure everything out. Start helping more people because guess what? You're one meeting. away from a breakthrough. How many of you guys put one in the chat that read the book 3 Feet Away from Gold? How many of you guys read that book 3 feet one 3 feet no what is it 3 feet away from gold? Yeah, that's the name of the book. Nobody read that book? Put a one in the chat. I'm curious to know how many people read that book. If you haven't read that book, it's an easy read. I'm surprised you didn't read that, Warren. I'm surprised. That everyone should read that book, because this book tells you you need to become a certain person in order to make or deserve or be worthy of the things that you want. And the problem is, especially in our industry, we quit right before our breakthrough. How many of you guys heard the story about the bamboo tree? Put a one in the chat for that. I know you guys heard the story about the bamboo tree. Now, let me tell you about the bamboo tree. You have to water the bamboo tree for 5 straight years and not expect no result. But after the 5th year in a day, it will sprout and grow a foot every day. A lot of you guys are bamboo trees. Y'all being watered on, y'all being poured on, but guess what? Once you stop watering that bamboo tree, guess what? The process has to start all over again, 5 years again. Now, we all have to make a decision. We have to get mad. MAD, make a decision on who we want to become in 2026. I know your logo is the hummingbird, KZ Muhammad, but I want to talk about the eagle real quick.
Yeah,
Because the eagle has the longest lifespan as far as when it comes to that species. But in order for the eagle to live for the age of 70, there's some tough decisions an eagle has to make. When the eagle turns 40, their talons start getting weak. They can't hunt. Their beak is not sharp anymore. Their feathers is heavy. So guess what? The eagle has to make a tough decisions. Either go through the process, a horrendous process of change and transformation, or die. So what the eagle has to do is fly up to the highest mountain, and it needs to destroy its beak. It needs to hit its beak against the rock and wait 40 days for that to reconstruct so it can become sharp again. It needs to pick its talons off, its nails. That's a very tremendous, crazy process, painful. And it has to pick its feathers and just sit there in the cold for 40 days. But guess what? After that transformation, after that process, that eagle will live another 30 to 40 years. How many of you guys are that eagle right now that have to go through that transformation, that painful transformation? But guess what? Once you go through that painful transformation, guess what? It's on the other side. A better version of yourself. So please, you're with the right team. You're with the right organization. Do not quit before you get that breakthrough. Continue going. Continue allowing Xperia and Kizzy and Mahad to pour the water on you. You're a bamboo tree. You're about to explode. One person in this industry will blow you up. This business here is a copycat business. Remember when we was in school and we used to copy off of people with notes? Remember that? You'll get in trouble. You'll get expelled. You'll get suspended. But here, you take that same mentality here with Xperia, copying the right people, or copying the right cats. Guess what? You will transform and be successful. Now, how do you know who to copy? I have a system. It's called ETA. E stands for experience. Muhammad and Kizzy has that. T has the theory, meaning they are very well versed. They understand the insurance business. And A, meaning they have the accolades and the accomplishments and the applications. Kizzy and Mom is always #1, recruiting and personal production. So guess what? They hit the trifecta when it comes to leadership and the people to follow. ETA. So please, we all are 3 feet away from goal. Do not quit. This is your breakthrough moment. And I would like to end it with that.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so
Yes.
much, Mark. Thank
No
you for
problem.
coming and sharing with the
Thank you.
team.
Sure.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you.
Not a lot of credit goes to Mark, but he's something. You know, Kizzy and I, we only had 6 people on our team. May convention. Today we have 235 people on our team. Okay, so from May until now, we have 235 people on our team. So Mark is the one that sat with us and said, these are the things that you need to do in order for you to be successful. And we just copied and pasted. And this is where we got to. So all the things that he's saying is the word of wisdom that he shared with Kizzy and I, right? So thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you, man.
You guys have an amazing meeting. Y'all take care.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome, awesome. So I have a big question for everyone. Did you guys enjoy that? 3 feet from gold? Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you need to
I just ordered it on Audible.
Is
I'm gonna
it
start
free?
that soon. It was $18.
There we go. Let's go. I read a lot of
Let's go.
books.
Yeah.
I don't have the time, so audiobooks is the way to go.
Yeah.
I have one big question for everyone. So Cody Askins posted the podcast with myself and Mahad and Jamie Prickett and Darren Golka. Did you guys get the opportunity to take a look at it? Yes, by show of hands, or put a 1 in the chat if you saw it. Put a 2 in the chat if you have not. Amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you guys want to give any feedback? What are your thoughts? Was it good? Was it not good? Did you guys learn something about Xperia that you didn't know before?
Yes, I'll start. I watched that. I think it was 1 or 2 in the morning a couple nights ago, but that hit very home. I think I know it was said often where it was, hey, it just feels very homey. It feels very welcoming. You guys were saying just around the table. It actually comes across in the screen as well.
Some important information about your upcoming resting ECG or electrocardiogram. A resting ECG.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I really liked Mahad's acronym. I forget it off the top of my head. Do you mind repeating it?
Fail means first attempt in learning, right? So we go to so many different organizations and we have a bad sour, so we don't go back into it. So the acronym that I said was FAIL.
I've never heard that before, so that was a new one for me, and that was really good, Mahad. And you guys talked about that. You talked about consistency. You talked about it. It takes time. Like Jamie said, he's like, I've been doing this for 24 years. I didn't just wake up one day and become successful. He spent, just about 10 years at that other company, not making any money, enough to put gas in his car. But here he is. He just stayed consistent, and he said that's where a lot of people fail, is consistency. They think it happens overnight, but truth is, you need good mentorship. You do need a good company, he said. If you aren't being successful over a certain period of time, you should reevaluate the company, because that was one of his problems. But a lot of people fail because of the lack of consistency. So you guys had a great podcast. Everybody had a lot of amazing things to share. You did amazing, both. Kizzy, Mahad. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rory. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, I encourage you guys to watch it. I sat back, I watched it. It took me a while to watch it. I was not ready to look at myself on screen. So it took me a couple of days before I sat down and watched it, but I watched it twice because I felt like I was just joining Xperia for the first time, you know. And it talks a lot about our journey. It talks about, us caring for agents. Jamie was very open, as Rory said, about his past, and Darren spoke as well. So I encourage you guys to watch it. If you have people that are thinking about joining this agency as well, I think that is a good video for them to start. because they will be joining Team Emerald on, with you and growing in this business with you. So it gives them a good segue into what they can expect when they join Xperia and they join, your team and your agency. So I encourage you guys all to watch it. It's really good. I'm surprised of how it came out really, really good. All right, so we're gonna go into the breakout rooms now. I'll answer any questions, welcome the new agents, and then we will meet back here at 7:15 to go through the recognitions.
So if you guys watch the breakout, and then for the people that are from the US, I'll meet you there in that room, okay?
Yes. It's called the USA, so now you should see it pop up on your screen.
And then press the join button.
Mhm. All right. 12 of us here. Thank you guys for putting your cameras on. We do appreciate that. We're eventually trying to get to 100% participation of cameras on. I hope one day we'll get there. Well, so thank you guys so much. Caroline, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so guys, today we were supposed to have Jasmine go over travel insurance with us. However, unfortunately, there's a situation that happened with Jasmine earlier today that she notified me around 4:30, and something that she has to take care of personally. So unfortunately, she would not be leading the training, and Chander has stepped in. Dwayne, you want to join the USA room? Do you see a breakout room in your end?